Can a Deck Saloon Monohull really give you the best of both worlds? Is there likely a trade-off compared to a more traditional, lower-profile monohull? What defines a great sailing experience for you? All right, Boat React crew, today we are diving deep into a fascinating question for sailors. Can a Deck Saloon Monohull really give you the best of both worlds?
That's a good one. We know many of you have strong opinions on the whole monohull versus cat thing.
Exactly. We're not really trying to rehash all that today. This is different.
Yeah, we're looking specifically at this kind of design, this Deck Saloon approach. Does it manage to blend that traditional sailing feel with, more space and comfort?
Like finding that sweet spot, maybe. We've seen the Moody 41DS getting a lot of attention, for example. Seems to promise a lot.
It does, and it's interesting seeing this innovation happening within monohulls. Designers they're clearly thinking hard about enhancing the cruising life without just building another hull.
So our mission today is really to dissect this. Look at the features of a modern deck saloon and figure out if they genuinely bridge that gap, between the classic mono experience and the comfort people love about cats.
Let's get into it. We need to understand the practical side, not just the shiny brochures.
Right. So first things first, for anyone maybe new to the term, what exactly is a deck saloon?
Okay, think of your standard monohull saloon, right? Now, imagine lifting that whole area up. So the floor is much closer to the cockpit level, maybe almost level in some cases.
Higher up, okay.
And because it's higher, you get these huge windows all around, almost panoramic views, really. It gives you a much better connection to the outside.
So you'd be inside, warm and dry, but still see everything, still feel involved.
Precisely. That's a key part of the appeal. And it often leads to this concept they call one-level living.
Ah, one-level living. That sounds very catamaran-like, or like a motor yacht almost, a big shift from steps down into a saloon.
It is. And if we're talking best of both worlds, that smooth flow between the cockpit and the main living space, that's a big plus for comfort and safety, too, when you're moving around underway.
Yeah, losing those companionway steps makes it feel much more integrated, more accessible. I can see that being a real advantage.
Definitely. Especially for cruising folk.
Okay, so let's talk space. Stepping inside a boat like that Moody 41DS, the impression seems to be, roominess. Lots of it.
Yeah, they really seem to maximize the internal volume. And it's down to specific design choices. Things like plumb ends, more vertical bow and stern.
It maximizes waterline length, right?
Exactly. Plus, high freeboard, full forward sections, those near vertical sides, and a really wide stern. It all works together.
To create that cavernous feeling people talk about.
That's the word some use, yeah. Surprisingly big inside for its length. And importantly, the focus often seems to be on comfortable living for, say, a couple, maybe with occasional guests, rather than just cramming in berths.
So quality of space over quantity of beds. More livable.
You got it. And that connection between inside and out really adds to that feeling.
That seamless flow we mentioned.
Absolutely. Walking straight from the cockpit into the saloon. No steps. It just feels open. Plus, those huge windows blur the lines between being inside and, enjoying the anchorage or the...
Yeah, and Moody has multiple spots on deck, too, doesn't it?
It does. There's that forward seating area, almost like a second cockpit up front. Then the main cockpit is pretty big, with that extending hardtop for shade. And the fold-down swim platform at the back.
Lots of options for lounging around.
Yeah, plenty of different zones to hang out in.
It's really interesting how they're borrowing these layout ideas, often seen on cats, to get more usable space and that indoor-outdoor feel, but still on a monohull. But the big question for many sailors, performance. How do these deck saloon boats actually sail? How do they stack up?
Right. This is crucial for the best of both worlds debate, isn't it? We generally accept that cats, being lighter, can be faster off the wind, downwind, beam reaching.
Sure. And traditional monos with deeper keels often get pointed to for better upwind stability.
That's the common perception. So a deck saloon like the Moody 41DS needs to find a balance.
And how do they approach that? It sounds like the sail plan got some attention.
It did. It's described as a high-performance plan. And one neat standard feature is the double forestay.
Oh, interesting. For easier head sail changes.
Exactly. A real plus for short-handed sailing or dealing with changing conditions. Makes life easier.
And the rigging. Anything different there?
Well, the way the shrouds attach is kind of clever. The uppers go to the hull sides, the freeboard, but the lowers attach to the coach roof, the superstructure.
Ah, so it keeps the side decks clear.
Yeah, it's designed for easier movement fore and aft, safer when you're handling sails or just moving around the deck.
Okay, practical sail handling seems well thought out. But back to that upwind question. Is there likely a trade-off compared to a more traditional, lower-profile monohull?
Generally speaking, yes, probably a bit. When you compare different cruising boat types, a deeper keel mono might point a touch higher, hold speed better going upwind than a design with more windage, more freeboard, maybe a wider hull form.
It's physics, really.
But,
Yeah.
there's a big but here, isn't there? The inside helm.
Ah, yes. That's a major feature on the Moody 41DS, a fully protected inside helm station.
That's got to be a huge advantage in foul weather. Absolutely massive. Being able to steer comfortably, warm and dry when it's rough or cold outside. That extends your sailing season, makes passages much less taxing. It's a game changer for many cruisers.
Definitely a strong point for the comfort side of the equation. But what's the view like from down there through all those saloon windows? Any downsides? Reflections, maybe?
That's a fair point. The visibility is generally excellent because of the large windows. But yeah, you can get reflections sometimes, maybe off the side windows, or light coming through the open companionway.
So not quite the same as being out in an open cockpit.
Not exactly the same, no. It's something you'd adapt to, like anything. But it's a slightly different perspective compared to that totally unobstructed view you get outside. Worth noting.
Okay. So we're not doing direct Catamaran Model A versus Deck Saloon Model B, but we should probably acknowledge some of those inherent cat advantages that always come up when talking space and comfort.
We should, yeah. Because while the Moody 41DS offers a lot more space than many traditional monos, cats just generally have more volume overall. Plus, that level sailing.
The lack of healing, yeah. Big factor for seasickness.
Huge. And the layout across two hulls often gives you more privacy, separate spaces, and of course, the shallow draft.
Right, getting into those shallower spots that monos can't reach. Key advantages.
Definitely key considerations for anyone comparing options.
So, flipping back to the Deck Saloon Monohull itself, are there any other potential drawbacks people mention? Things experienced sailors might want to think about?
Well, digging into what sailors say, you sometimes hear a couple of points. One is maybe a bit more tenderness.
Meaning might heel over a bit more easily. Need to reef sooner.
Potentially, yeah. Compared to a heavier, lower profile traditional monohull, the higher center of gravity could contribute to that. It's a potential characteristic.
Okay. Well,
On smaller deck saloon designs, maybe not so much the 41DS, you sometimes hear comments about the cockpit feeling a bit compact, or the side decks not feeling quite as secure as a traditional layout with deeper bulwarks.
Context dependent then.
And one more thing, those lovely big windows. They can let in a lot of sun. So in really hot, sunny climates, the saloon could potentially get quite warm. Good ventilation or air con would be important there.
Right. Solar gain. Definitely something to factor in based on where you plan to cruise. Now, you mentioned the Moody 41DS is positioned as, well, a premium boat. What does that mean price-wise, and how does that fit in?
It means it's a significant investment, yeah. It's definitely in a price range where buyers might also be looking seriously at catamarans.
So it's competing for some of the same potential buyers.
I think so. The appeal is likely that specific blend, you get the monohull sailing feel, but with a level of comfort and a living space that's aiming to rival some cat benefits just in one hull.
And there are other cost factors too, right? Like berthing.
Oh, for sure. While the initial purchase price is one thing, you've got ongoing costs. Catamarans, being wider, often mean higher mooring or marina fees. Chartering costs can be higher too. It's not just the sticker price.
A complex calculation then. Which brings us right back to the big question. Is this deck saloon concept, like the Moody 41DS, really the best of both worlds? Let's try and sum it up.
Okay, so on one side, you've absolutely got the monohull DNA. That feeling of connection to the water, the heel, the way it moves through waves. Potentially solid upwind performance from that deeper keel. It's that classic sailing experience.
Yep, the things mono sailors love. But then you layer on these features often linked to cats.
Exactly. That incredibly airy, bright saloon, the convenience of one level living between outside and in, those panoramic views everywhere, and that really valuable protected helm station.
Space, light, convenience, protection.
So is it the best of both? It depends so much on your priorities, doesn't it? What matters most to you?
Yeah, what are your non-negotiables? Is it pure sailing feel, rock solid stability when anchored, maximum living room? Easy movement, all-weather capability.
There really isn't one single answer that fits everyone. What's perfect for one sailor is a compromise for another. The Moody 41DS and designs like it, they represent a really interesting evolution, I think. Clearly aimed at comfortable cruising, offering a different kind of onboard life compared to a traditional mono, but still fundamentally a monohull.
So for you listening, maybe think hard about what you truly value out on the water. What defines a great sailing experience for you?
And if a big jump in comfort and interior space within a monohull package is high on your list, and you still appreciate how a monohull sails, well, then a deck saloon like this could be a really compelling option.
It's trying to bridge that gap, offer that blend. It might just hit that best of both worlds mark for a certain kind of sailor.
It might indeed.
So is a Deck Saloon Monohull the ultimate compromise, or a brilliant evolution? The answer, as always in the world of boats, lies in what you value most on the water. Until next time, fair wind and follow the seas.
What's out there?